All right. I'm back again. This is the part two of my monologue. Sorry, I was interrupted by a delivery man. He bought a package with some stuff for my uh, diabetic girlfriend. She bought on the internet some sensors that she puts on her arm, and it measures the level of glucose, the level of sugar in her blood. What a wonderful small device. Let me tell you for a fact, it's amazing. It makes life, it makes lives of diabetics so much easier because the thing is about that, when your sugar level gets too low or too high, uh, the alarm turns on, and if you happen to sleep, it will definitely wake you up so you can take action to make higher or make lower the level of sugar in your blood. And in most of the cases, we don't need to wake up at night to measure sugar manually by putting a needle into your finger and to take a sample of blood and put it into your glucometer, and that in that way you can measure your level, your sugar level. So I hope you get the point. So that's the part two of my speech, because I'm feeling the flow of speech and I don't want to stop. And so I picked up the package. I thanked to the delivery man for it, and I'm back again. So I'm going to publish this video just after I publish the previous part. But what was I talking about? Today's question. Today I'm focusing on patience and politeness, and I've already answered two questions. The first one, what do you think patience is, and the second one that I am actually answering now. I haven't finished yet. And the question was, do you think patience is important? So let's start right here. Patience is extremely important for me because, like I said at the beginning of the previous part, uh, I had to work hard for everything in my life in terms of my education, my health, my languages as well, of course, and that wouldn't be possible if I wasn't a patient person. So yeah, everything that is meaningful in life requires two things, and the things are patience and motivations. You have to have a clear goal, and you need patience and motivation if you want to achieve that. And sometimes, let's take me as an example. Uh, my main goal is to learn many foreign languages, and I'm well aware that every learning, even one of them, it's going to take years and years of deliberate studies and practice, and life is too short to learn to a high level even 5 or 6 languages. That would be great to know so many languages, but never mind, I digress as always. And that's what I love about my YouTube channel. So yeah, patience is extremely important, and mm, I wanted to say some interesting thought, but it flew out of my head. Where was I? Yeah, I wanted to say that patience is something that distincts successful people from not so successful people. Another sip of my coffee. So that's the distinction between successful and not successful people. Patience and motivation and hard work. And that's my opinion. Of course, uh, as I've said in the previous part, uh, which I recorded a moment ago, And there are some people that just get everything from other people and they don't need to move a finger to achieve something. But life is harsh sometimes, but that's not the excuse to give up and not to try. Let's imagine a race. You have a road you have a road that you need to conquer, let's say it, and the starting point for every person is different. And let's say you need to run for a kilometer, yeah, and you start at the beginning, at the starting line, and there are just some people that just start at the just in front of the finishing point and they are driving a car. uh, I know that I don't express myself precisely, but I really hope you get the point because it's important to me for you to understand it. And what I want to say is that comparing yourself to others doesn't make really sense because you don't start at the same point in life. Some people have more resources, some of them are more talented, they have richer parents that pay for everything, and the harsh truth is that sometimes are more talented and more intelligent. That's the way life goes sometimes. And it's a really silly idea and a counterproductive one to compare yourself to others because people are different. That's what I want to say. But nevertheless, patience is so important that I couldn't stress it enough. Moving on, but let me check the time first. All right, I have 40 minutes left, so that's great. Moving on to another question. Let me read it. Do you think you are a patient person? I know that's not the answer, but it depends. It depends on so many factors that I couldn't count them all. But let's start with my coffee, of course. But when it comes to answering the question, let me start with a few examples from my own experience. And as I've said so many times on this channel, learning languages requires, as a default, honestly, it requires patience and to be a patient person because it's the exercise of delayed gratification, because you have to grind so hard if you want to see results. And the deeper you go and the further you go in the journey, the more effort it requires to make further progress. So that's sorry, I forgot the word. Never mind. That's the exercise of patience and hard work. Yeah, and I've been struggling with my health recently. No, not recently, for most of my life actually. But and it as well requires tons of patience and hard work and modesty as well, because and it's the most difficult thing for me to learn, because to accept even, because I know that I'm sick to a degree, but I'm doing good job at in conquering it. But I yeah, it's that thing that uh, I want an instant result, an instant gratification, and I need to be more modest about it because things don't work this way, at least in my case. Um, I need to be more patient and work even harder. And sometimes I forget about my motivation, which is extremely important. So, on the one hand, I'm the sort of person that is impatient by nature, but I've been working incredibly hard for my whole life to become a patient person. So I'm a sort of contradiction when it comes to that. On the one hand, I'm extremely patient, but on the other hand, I'm so impatient. So the answer is it depends. Honestly, it depends. Uh, it's a situational experience, if you know what I mean. It depends on a situation. In some situations, I'm so patient, that is admired by other people. Yeah, I often hear it from other people that I'm so patient and they envy me that trait of character. But I can just make a list of hundreds and hundreds of situations that I behaved in an impatient way in that situations. I mean, so let me repeat myself. It depends on a situation which I happen to be in. Moving on, have you ever lost your patience? Hmm. Um, it's really difficult to make me lose my temper. I'm not the person that hits the roof too often and that I lose my temper. I'm a calm and peaceful person. And the thing is that I'm not the guy that is easy to annoy. The reason for that is that I just don't care about other people, and the thing that I value, that I really value, is peace and quiet. So I don't want to take part in any conflicts or arguments. If I can avoid it, I prefer to be left in peace and quiet. It's just because I don't care. Uh, of course, it happens from time to time that I lose my patience, I lose my temper even, but it's extremely difficult to make me do that. I've been working for 4+ months in a management position, and I lead a team of I lead a team of 17 people at the moment. So, and I remember only one situation that someone got on my nerves so much that I lost my patience with that person. And why not? Let me describe that situation for you. Uh, Hopefully, no one of my workers or employers don't watch this video. Yeah, the chances are minimal, are so slim that I wouldn't even consider it seriously that some of my workers, employers would watch this video. Hopefully that's not going to happen. So let me explain the situation to you briefly. Mm, During the early shift, it was about a month ago, uh, three, three of my workers made themselves a break, an unscheduled break, and it's against the rules. They hoped that I wouldn't notice it, but they had bad luck and I noticed it immediately. So I went and started looking for them. And of course, I found them a while after, a few moments after that, um, in some room when we eat breakfast, when we spend our breaks there. And I didn't say a word. I wasn't rude. I was completely disappointed in them. I just told them to get back to work. But of course, I I talked over this situation with my boss, and they had to suffer some consequences about that incident. And that person, one of the guys that had that unscheduled break, came to me a day after, and she told me that, and I want you to pay attention to that bit because it's extremely important for you to understand the whole context of the story, why it irritated me, and I hit the roof after that. So the story is, she approached me and she told me that she was completely disappointed in me. Yeah, I'm telling you the truth now. She was completely disappointed in me, and she wasn't expecting that sort of behavior from me. She meant that I'd told about the situation to my boss, and I'd told my boss about the situation. Oh, that's a better phrasing, I hope. So she was disappointed, but and it was my fault basically. So and I hit the roof. Let me tell you, I told her that we have nothing to talk about because you just showed me so much disrespect that I'm going to take part in that games and manipulation, because I could see it clear as day that she she had been trying to manipulate me, and nope, I wasn't agreeing with that, not even an option. So you can see that a person manipulates you, and she does it in so obvious and rude way, and how am I even supposed to react to that rudeness and things like that? That's incredible, how rude, and I forgot the word. So it's incredible that how rude can people be sometimes. They cross your borders so much, and they do it in such a rude way, and you are supposed to do what? Just sit quiet and listen to that? I don't want to use rude words, so I won't. And yeah, I know that I overuse, that I've just overused this word, but uh, sometimes I lack words. Sorry for that. And nothing, none, no better expression came to my head. So it's like that. And I had nothing to talk about. I have nothing to talk about with that person anymore, because if someone disrespects you so much and behaves in such a disrespectful way towards you, and she honestly makes an idiot right in front of you, I'm not going to tolerate it. I mean, like, never. So I was a bit disrespectful to her in return, but should I really care? She's going to get sacked in a few weeks. So at the end of the month. So never mind. Who cares? I wish her the best, but I don't want to have nothing in common with her anymore. So being a boss is sometimes difficult, let me tell you. If you are a boss and if you happen to lead a team of people, if you work in a management position, you can relate, I suppose. My coffee is cold by now, by the way, because I've been recording for 40 minutes and I have 20 minutes left. So yeah, I don't know. That was just a one simple example of me losing my patience. But Otherwise, it's incredibly difficult for me to lose control over my emotions. So what else can I add to the subject? Some interesting remarks. I don't know. Patience is an important trait of character that I respect people who are patient. And moving on to another part, because as I said at the beginning of the video, I'm going to talk about patience and politeness. So let's just jump right into the second part. And there are 4 questions about politeness. So let's get started, shall we? Are you a polite person? Definitely. I am a polite person, and as I can see, it's really respected. And I get tons of respect about that at my work, and people really respect that, honestly, because I work at assembly, at an assembly plant, and we produce gas meters for export. And what I want to say is that in places like that work people from different walks of life with different education, different background, and some of them are highly intelligent, but some of them lack education and politeness, and they don't know how to behave properly. Yeah, and I'm talking about adults, not kids, and some of them don't know how to behave. But that's a whole another story. That's a whole different story, which I'm not going to tell you about now. And my politeness was noticed rather quickly, was noticed pretty quickly. Or maybe my politeness was noticed quite quickly. And that's one of the reasons that I was chosen to become a manager, because of my politeness and high culture. I don't know if that's a correct phrase, a correct collocation, but I'm a cultural person that knows how to behave and who is polite. And that was noticed. And that's one of the reasons that I got promoted quickly. And by the way, it's some sort of a record in my company, at my workplace, because I've never heard about any other example of a person that got promoted so quickly. So that's a good thing, I guess. That's something to be proud of, because I'd been working there for almost 3 months when I got promoted. So that's something to be proud of, I guess. But I don't really think it doesn't really make me proud, because I'm the kind of person that hmm, is modest to a degree, but sometimes it's even that. Uh, I'm really hard to. It's really hard to impress myself with my own achievements. I hope you get the general idea of what I'm trying to explain to you. And my own achievements, my hard work, my results, they just don't impress me. I don't feel proud of them. It's like if I have some results, it's a sign for me that I need to work even harder. It's the way it is. Mm, sorry, I need to check the time. All right, I have 20 minutes left. So, I'm a polite person. I'm the person that pretty much never uses bad, rude words, and that's also noticed. Uh, I keep being asked that, like, you never swear? You never use bad words? I mean, nope, never. I used to, but I don't anymore. And I taught myself it to avoid those words. It was a struggle. It was a really difficult work for me to stop using that word because I'd been using it for so many years. And then when I decided to stop, so I stopped after a while. Who taught you to be polite? No one. It was my own choice. Uh, I just chose that lifestyle, let's put it this way. I chose this way of life, of politeness. Um, so I became a polite person by my own choice. No one forced me to do that. It wasn't necessary. And let me even tell you that some people, most of my circle of people, found it strange. They thought like I was behaving strange and I was trying to make myself better than them because I was polite and didn't use bad words. Yeah, I know, amazingly enough, but it's amazing really, but that's true. They thought that I'm a weirdo because of that, because I'm polite. Can you imagine how ridiculous it is? Honestly, if a person acts in a normal way, people think that he's crazy. They thought it about me, definitely. But social etiquette isn't important for some people, and for me it's crucial because I behave in a way that shows involvement in other people. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm sure you didn't understand the word of what I'm saying now, but never mind. I don't know where I'm going with it. So, no one taught me to be polite. It was my own personal choice, and it cost me a lot of hard work and effort to achieve that. But after years of hard work and struggle, I finally achieved it. So, it's the trait of character that is incredibly important for me, and I value it in other people as well. So, yeah, what else can I say? I come from the background that, hmm, as I've said many times, as I've mentioned it hundreds of times, that I come from a deprived home. My parents were alcoholics, and let me say that they didn't teach me politeness, as you can imagine, probably. And I was taught the opposite, to lie, cheat, and steal. Uh, let me put it this way. Let me put it this way. So I was taught the opposite, and my parents were teaching me to behave inappropriate, to be impolite, to steal, to cheat if it's necessary, if it was necessary and it could benefit me in one way or another. That cheating is alright. And my late mother even were a shoplifter, and she specialized in stealing coffee and deodorants. I know it's weird, but she stole those products mostly, mainly, and she got caught. Uh, hmm, she got caught 2 times, surprising as it may seem. She'd been doing it for years and was caught only twice. So that's impressive, I guess. So no one taught me to be polite. It was my own. It was a matter of my personal choice and the hard work that I was willing to put into that stuff. Moving on to another question. Is it important to be polite? Of course, it's polite, especially in this day and age when it seems to me that no one really values it anymore. But for me, it's vital. It's it makes me who I am to some extent. And I don't know. Honestly, I'm getting a bit tired of speaking because I've been doing it for almost 50 minutes. Maybe I will edit uh, the last video, the first part, to make one big video. Uh, in the beginning, I wanted it to be the longest video so far on my channel, but the delivery man interrupted the recording, so I had to stop. As I'm thinking about it now, I could have just press the pause button and not to stop completely recording, but it happened. So, but I'm not good at editing thing. Um, I don't know anything about editing, and I'm really bad at it. Yeah, it would be a really good idea to learn it, but practicing my English is more important. It's more important than quality of my videos. But I digress. So yeah, it's important to be polite for me personally, and it's a silly question actually, because it should be a foundation of every well-behaved person. So that's that. That's what I wanted to say on that subject. Moving on to the last question because it's getting late and I need to have dinner before I go to work. So it's time to wrap up this video, but before that, let me answer the last question. What do you do if others are not polite to you? Uh, the answer is simple. I require respect. I ask them politely, of course, to show me respect. I don't demand it by force or by shouting at them or using rude words and stuff like that. I just ask them politely, and that demands on its own way the respect. And in most cases, I get it in return when I show respect. In most of the cases, people give it to me in return. But if that doesn't work, I ask them for showing me respect, and that works as well. And if that doesn't work, I just don't talk to them. There's no point. That's not my role to teach them, teach those people how to behave in a good way. That was the job of their parents, which they had failed, apparently. If someone is behaving rude, if they lack politeness, I mean. The funny thing is that I'm starting to feel a sore throat, and that's because of my speaking. And because I've been speaking for 50 minutes plus, it's almost an hour, so I'm extremely proud of myself, honestly. And to my throat, even my coffee doesn't help. Yeah, I'm trying to drink water or coffee in most of the cases um, to make my throat work. But I guess like my throat isn't used to speaking for such a long periods of time. But never mind. Let me check the time again. It's 12:33 in my time zone. So I have a few minutes left. Like I said, I'm getting the feeling of incredible progress of my speaking challenge. And I would love to have some audience, but let's be honest here. Let's face the fact that I don't produce the content that is appealing to anyone because um, does anyone care about someone who is learning English? Of course not. Uh, and I don't blame them. I don't blame you for anything because that's the truth, honestly. Who wants to see a person who learns English? And I've been, and that's the thing, the life goes actually. But I've been thinking recently about expanding my channel, and what I mean by that is that I've been thinking about making some sorts of videos about my learning strategies, and those videos would have to be scripted. They would need some structure and better equipment and stuff like that. So yeah, it would be a good idea. It may be, just maybe, if I put more effort into my videos and I make some content related to language learning, my strategy, my resources, my routine, my tips and thoughts about all that stuff would make a good content, because language learning in YouTube, at YouTube, is a dead niche. But maybe there's a space for some random Polish guy who has something valuable to think about the matter. And I think I have some things to share with you guys, some important thoughts. But um, I need to really work on the quality of the videos if I want to expand. And it's time to start treating the YouTube thing seriously. But let's be honest, I've neglected it because I focus mostly on my speaking practice and not on the quality of the videos. And I'm not surprised to the least that I get close to 0 views on my videos. And on the one hand, it's a good thing because I can be honest. I am 100% sure that I'm not going to be, I'm not getting judged about what I say here. I can share some private thoughts and events. I can tell you about my weaknesses, my struggles, and pretty much everything. And that's an amazing thing about this YouTube channel. And I find it extremely important for me, mainly because of that. So it's a place that I can be honest, and I have some space to practice my English. And no one in my close circle speaks this language, and they are not willing to put an effort to translate it, to put on captions and stuff like that, to think what to learn what I think. So that's it. What else? Maybe uh, I have 3 days off. I'm going, today is the last day of my work week and I have a long weekend, so that's a good chance to work on the scripts of that video. So maybe in the first one I will talk about my study routine. I would make another progress update. I would touch upon the subject of the resources that I use. Maybe, yeah, they are all good ideas, because you know what is the main problem that I struggle with the most? The time. I have so many things to do, and I just lack time. I just need more hours in the day. That would solve most of my problems related to my hobbies, passions, and the YouTube stuff. So yeah, as I'm looking at the time counter, in 10 seconds I'm hitting 40 minutes mark. So it's a good place to stop this video. And if you count the previous part that I've recorded today, I've been speaking for almost an hour. It's like 58 plus minutes. So that's one hell of a achievement. But yeah, I guess I'm going to hit 1 hour mark tomorrow, because why not? But for today, it's time to say goodbye. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If someone even clicks on my video, and what else can I say? See you in the next video tomorrow. Bye.